a sunny afternoon for it, as we now await the start of the 1984 FA Cup final. Their form since getting through to the semi-finals has been quite different. Watford only have won twice since they beat Plymouth. Everton unbeaten in their last 6. The bookmakers make them the favourites, Everton at 6-5 on, and Watford at 9-5 with the latest odds I saw. Tremendous noise, great expectations, as Watford in the yellow shirts, red shorts, kick off attacking the goal to our right, and the cup final is underway. And if we get a game here anything like the match they had quite recently at Vicarage Road that finished in a 4-4, when Everton were twice 2 goals down, we're in for some game. Everton having previously won at Goodison Park by 1-0. But this, as they say, is quite a different ball game. Header coming off Kevin Richardson for another Watford throw, and Lee Sinnott coming across to take it, the 18-year-old. They bought him from Walsall. That is a good, powerful throw. Mountfield's header couldn't get to it. Barnes might, and Southall in the opening moments had to make a very important save. Great throw from Sinnott. Ian St John.
Well, this is one of the ploys. Anytime they get a throw in anywhere near the box, this big guy comes down and throws, and that's a tremendous throw. Nice flick on there, and a bit of a chance here, but Neville Southall in excellent form again.
Well, the fastest goal in the cup final was scored by Jackie Milburn back in 1955 for Newcastle against Manchester City in 45 seconds. I fancy that might have gone very close to equalising it. Now, George Reilly. Gray. Heath. And Terry getting back quickly. Mountfield under it. Good header there by Gray for Heath, and now for Stephen. And already this game is opening up very promisingly. Trevor Stephen gets his cross in towards Graham Sharp. Oh, what a lively start, Ian.
Terrific start, yeah, lovely. You know, an effort at either end in the space of, what, a minute and a half. Terrific. You know, the thing about Everton, a little Heath will play behind the front 2 there, and he picks up in all the knockdowns from Andy Gray and Graham Sharp, and then either goes himself or lays it off, and then, you know, plays 1-2s. I think he's a key player this afternoon.
Ratcliffe versus Reilly. Noticeable that Reilly won it in the air. Mountfield. Stephen, a miss kick. Reilly again. Johnston, virtually his first touch. Stephen. Ooh. Gave it to Barnes. Barnes holding off, and Price had joined in as well. Watford's throw. Can't speak too highly of Neville Southall's save in that opening 45 seconds. Very swift reaction shot, but he's had an absolutely tremendous season. He's probably the most consistent goalkeeper in the First Division. Well, he might have more work now. It's a good long throw again. Mountfield's header only half getting it away, and Southall is there. Again, it was Sinnott with that long throw.
He might be better, Neville Southall, you know, to come for the long throw, Brian, when it's, especially if the throw is near the corner flag, because the defenders can have a problem with George Reilly.
Terry winning it well. Here's Reid. They will expect a lot from him in the midfield, using his experience. Here he comes again. And again, this time finding Heath. Heath in turn finding Richardson. Into the side netting, which was guarded well by Sherwood. The near posts. But a little ball here, finally winkled out to Richardson.
Probably just took it a little bit too far there, Brian, to get the shot, and the angle was too tight. Would have been better just trying to square it along the 6-yard box.
Reilly versus Ratcliffe. Reid versus 2. Reilly hitting it forward again, offside. Linesman dead right. Sharp off after that one, but Sherwood's ball. Barnes touching it on for Johnston. Now it's Jackett making the break, and it's going to be a goal kick. Welsh international, he's played here before for his country against England. Indeed, John Barnes has also played here, but there's precious little Wembley experience around the rest of the Watford side. Terry, backed it sharp, and now Richardson. Gray's waiting in the middle, Bailey is supporting from behind. Here's John Bailey. Bounced a bit awkwardly there, but he's still got an interesting cross in, and he had to use the fist and didn't do it terribly well, but the whistle had gone. There must have been a foul on the keeper.
I don't actually think it was a foul on the goalkeeper, Brian. I think it was a case of Graham Sharp bumping into a defender on his way to try and get to the ball.
Johnston, Bailey, Sharp, touched on for Gray, spreading it wide for Trevor Stephen, wider still for Gary Stevens, and a lovely ball by Stevens for Heath. Stephen again. Heath. And eventually out of play. Gary Stevens will take the throw for Everton. Not quite as long as Lee Sinnott's throw, but Sharp gets on the end of it. Bardsley finding Barnes. Reilly off in chase. Ratcliffe. Sharp. Stevens. Stephen. And now Peter Reid, trying to get Sharp away down the right flank. It's a throw. Sharp thought he was obstructed. Watford throw. Jackett. Not a very good clearance that. Wasn't a clearance at all by Gary Stevens. It might have put the rest of his side in a bit of trouble. But Richardson was back to help out. But now they might have to face another long throw from Lee Sinnott. No, he stayed back this time. Les Taylor with it. Bardsley crossing it in. Ratcliffe away to Jackett. Now John Barnes onside. Reilly's waiting in the middle. So too is Stephen. Back to Gary Stevens. Reilly collected it well. Johnston's waiting in the middle, a good cross and a good piece of keeping. He had to be positive there because that was always inviting Mo Johnston to get on the end of it, but Southall was extremely positive and very, very quick. Good cross in from George Reilly, Ian.
Well, they do that, you know, they whip nice early balls in, you know, both the wingers do, and in fact anybody who gets out wide, they're encouraged to do that, knock the ball in first time, and little Johnston has obviously picked up a lot of his goals through the help of George Reilly there, not only in the air, but obviously like that as well.
David Bardsley with the throw. Callaghan. It's going to be a Watford throw. Bardsley with it. 10 minutes gone, no score if you've just joined us. Watford 0, Everton 0. A really good game opening up here. Another throw for Watford. And Sinnott is making the move for this one. So Everton know what to expect now, having come perilously close to conceding a goal in the opening minute from a long throw from this big 18-year-old lad. Aiming towards Reilly, possibly towards Barnes. In fact, it is towards George Reilly. There's the back flick, there's Barnes again. Turning it wide for Jackett. And in fact, it was a combination of Reid and Stephen who got it away for Everton. Two long throws then from Sinnott that have caused a sudden little tremor in that Everton defence. So, here we go again. It shows how you can be fooled, but he finds Kenny Jackett in a bit of space. And a good safe catch above the head of Reilly by Neville Southall. Sharp flicking it on. Now Andy Gray taking it from Heath, looking for Richardson to come up. Made back for Graham Sharp again. Andy Gray will hit straight at Steve Terry. Now Bardsley, an unfair challenge on Johnston. A free kick to Watford. Sinnott will take it. Paid his header. Now Richardson. Sinnott getting back very confidently, and certainly the youngsters at the back for Watford have shown themselves equal to the occasion at the moment, Ian.
Yeah, but it's early days, Ryan, you know, well, we've only gone just about 12 minutes of the game. If they can hold out against this Everton attack, then you can say Watford definitely have a future with those four players. Bardsley I've seen playing the right full-back, and he's a very good player.
Used to be with Blackpool, in fact 7 months ago was playing in the 4th division. But now Heath taking it up for Everton. Oh, and it deflected. It could have gone past a stranded Sherwood. Instead it went for the corner. The first corner of the game with 13 minutes gone. Some good attacking football coming up from both sides. Trevor Stephen with the corner. Peter Reid for Gary Stevens, crossed in early. I think Sherwood may have suspected a cross was coming in, suddenly found the ball was goal-bound.
That was a useful effort because there was a lot of pace in the ball there. I think he just tried to tuck the ball in, you know, but the goalkeeper, as you say, may have come out a bit early.
Richardson away. Can Sharp get there before Neil Price? He can. He's got support from Trevor Stephen, and there's a fair bit of space for him. Well played there by Sharp. And Terry getting it away quite comfortably for Watford towards Barnes. And Everton again. Reid holding off Jackett. Oh, a missed kick by Neil Price. Heath trying to get a cross in, maybe. Stevens fooled John Barnes. And another corner for Everton. Stephen will take it. Now Trevor Stephen. Oh, fisted away by Sherwood. Richardson. That should be more comfortable for Sherwood. Although Mountfield was coming hard for him. Quarter of an hour gone. And still 0-0. Reilly winning it. Reilly. Terry quite comfortably holding off Andy Gray at the expense of a throw.
Well, Andy Gray hasn't trained much this week, Brian. When I was down with him on Wednesday training, Andy really didn't do anything at all. I think he's been having a bit of problem with his knee, but you know, he'll give everybody a rough time out there today, that's for sure.
Ball for Barnes, and somehow they kept it out. Oh, just wide from Les Taylor. Well, Barnes jinked his way and got a shot that somehow they charged down.
Derek Mountfield got the block on it first time there, and I actually thought that was a touch off an Everton player. I thought the ball was going in. But Barnes, I expected him to score there, Brian, a real chance for him. I think actually he hadn't made his mind up what he was going to do. He had it on his left foot and he could have played it and then turned it onto his right, and then the chance was gone. Then Everton got back there in numbers.
Here come Everton. Peter Reid. Graham Sharp. Certainly been a very encouraging opening 17 minutes. Here's Sharp again, into the path of Trevor Stephen, wide of the goal kick.
Everton are getting a bit of joy up their right-hand side of the field there. Brian, I think young Neil Price, the number 3 for Watford, might just be a little bit out of his depth. You know, 2 or 3 times there that you would expect a more experienced player to have sorted out the problem. But it's a real difficult job for a youngster to come in to a cup final like this.
He's only 20, this is only his second cup tie and only his 11th first team game, so it's something of an ordeal for him, you're quite right, Ian. Richardson. Steve Terry. Callaghan. Oh, into Johnston. Well, a good quick spot and an important one there by Gary Stevens.
The Everton centre-backs were all over the place here, Brian, weren't they?
Well, I can't make it out, because when we saw them twice against Liverpool in the Milk Cup, they looked as tight and as sure as any back four could be, and Watford really in the opening 18 minutes or so have had more chances, it seemed, clear chances, than Liverpool had in 2 games. Gray, Richardson, Bailey, Jackett, Reid. Now Bardsley, stopped by Richardson. Callaghan is now in the England squad. It's a throw for Everton. Andy Gray. Reilly, offside against Richardson. So how do you account for this Everton back four, Ian?
I don't know. I saw Mountfield and Ratcliffe having a bit of a ruck at each other, you know, after the ball was played through the middle, because both of them got caught. You know, normally if one goes out, the other has got to stay, but when Johnston played the ball through there, they were both of them wide as a barn door.
Sharp. Richardson. Straight to Neil Price. And now John Barnes. There's his pace. Can he go all the way? In the end, he couldn't, because Stevens, who is a pretty pacey young man himself, just got the boot in to get it back to Southall. But a really good, strong and positive run here from young John Barnes. So that's how we are with 20 minutes gone. Still awaiting the first goal, but there have certainly been chances at both ends. Thought Howard Kendall and Colin Harvey on the right, his coach, would be slightly worried by some of the defensive play Everton have shown. Now it's time for Everton to put a bit of pressure on this Watford defence with the free kick. Reid and Heath behind it. Mountfield's up from the back. And that's who they were aiming for, but it's a goal kick. Reilly. Richardson. Watford, who got here by beating Luton. They were 2 goals down in that third round match at one point and fought back. One on the replay. They beat Charlton and Brighton, Birmingham and Plymouth, scoring 15 goals and conceding 7. Everton got through by way of Stoke, 3 games against 3rd Division Gillingham, Shrewsbury, Notts County, and then beating Southampton. Conceding only 1 goal along the way, incidentally, at Notts County. Well, they're doing some defending now. Bardsley finding Callaghan. The ball's still just in play, but now it's not, but it's another throw. Sinnott is arriving on the scene, and we all now know what that might mean.
Everton surely this time have got to mark the space in front of George Reilly. They're doing it because Peter Reid's gone in there now.
Peter Reid, number 6, with his arm there. You can see him in front of George Reilly, but it looks as though Reilly might get the touch again. Oh, indeed, if he did, he was fouling the Everton defender. It'll be a free kick. Yes, interesting spot there, because Peter Reid then taking up his position just in front of George Reilly.
Well, the 2 previous throw-ins had caused a problem because Big George was getting a free run at it. And what you've got to do, I mean, you're not going to get it in the air because he's so tall, so you have to try and put somebody in front of it to put him off getting to the ball.
Sharp. Gary Stevens with a long cross in, and young Steve Terry, it bounded off him. It won't go out of play. Yes, it will. It's a corner for Everton. So the fellow with the headband, Steve Terry, 50 stitches he's had in his head during the short career. Again, a long cross, this time by Gary Stevens, goes way over for the goal kick.
But it's interesting at the corner kicks there on the right-hand side. Watford are only putting 1 man out, Ryan, twice, or 3 times rather. Everton have been able to work a move on that side. You would think they would have sussed it now and put 2 men out.
Dick Sherwood, one of Watford's goal scorers this season, scored with a long clearance at Coventry. Oh, nice little nod on by Reilly and then by Johnston. No handball, said the referee. Looked a bit like it, but the ball with Southall. Taylor, interesting ball, and Barnes looks to be in the mood today. Playing it inside for Jackett. That was aimed towards Reilly, but the ball is out of play for the goal kick. 25 minutes gone, 0-0.
Neville Southall's had a bit of success this week already, you know, Brian. He coaches the Merseyside police team and they won the British Championships.
And now Reilly. Notice that the Watford substitute, Paul Atkinson, is warming up. There's the chairman having a look at the watch. I can tell him it's 26 minutes gone. Sharp. Terry getting it away. Paul Atkinson. Comes wide down the left, came from Oldham. Bailey. Reid. Bardsley in very positively and getting in first. Mountfield likewise. Bailey's little touch, just in play. Richardson on for Gray. Nice little touch there by Heath, finding Sharp. Get after that one, says Sharp, and he does, but now it's too close to Price. Eric Black has scored for Aberdeen, who are leading Celtic by 1-0 in Scotland. It's a goal you'll be able to see at half-time with us. Stephen, 0-0 here still. Now Reid. Oh, just wide again.
Well, what a season Peter Reid is having, Brian. He's been really superb since getting back into the Everton side, and it'd be lovely actually to see him score a goal today because he's been such an influence on the side in this good run they've had.
And when you think that his career, he's had 1 or 2 really serious injuries. He's been out of action overall for almost 2 years. Broken leg and a shattered kneecap as well. He's battled back very well indeed. He's a real grisly sort of character, isn't he? That doesn't say an awful lot, it seems, but gets through a tremendous amount of work in the middle of the field. Andy Gray versus Steve Terry. It was Gray's header, but Les Taylor was tidying up well for Watford. Callaghan, a nice little one-touch there for Bardsley. Trying to get the ball forward quickly again, but back a long way there from the Everton captain, Kevin Ratcliffe. That was Kenny Jackett who played the ball onto Andy Gray. And Gray, in turn, presents it to Callaghan. And the flag was up, the whistle's gone. A free kick to Watford. Another very good clearance by Bardsley. Richardson planting it forwards, Sinnott calmly back. nice. They come by Johnston. Sharp with a header. Reid battling through again and winning a free kick. Put a smack in the face, I think, as he did so. So Andy Gray now goes in towards that Watford penalty area, along with Graham Sharp. Mountfield also arriving from the back. And the kick to be taken by Gary Stevens, 21-year-old fullback. Played towards Andy Gray, and I thought for a moment that was going to finish up in the back of the net. Sherwood came for it, didn't really make a positive contact. Ian?
Well, the referee obviously thinks he did. Or somebody got a touch to it there. Just got it away from their heads.
Richardson then with the corner for Everton. And Sharp got a header, he got a fist. Reid put it way over the top. Just under a quarter of an hour to half-time now, and we await the first goal. Reilly, Barnes, Stephen doing well. The pass left something to be desired. Terry. Again, that long Watford ball, but Everton were aware of it.
Gary Stevens is a tremendous athlete. When I was at the training ground on Wednesday, Howard Kendall was saying, you know, how much this boy can do at training. He really is a powerful lad. I think he has to be today, but playing against Barnes, doesn't he?
Looks as though Barnes is in the right frame of mind. So too is Richardson, who's getting through a lot of good work. A little flick in this time for Andy Gray. Back for Peter Reid. Bailey. And after that one, he says to Richardson, played in low, and another Everton corner. Everton's fifth corner. Watford have yet to have one. Trevor Stephen taking it again. Mountfield there. Sharp, we've already seen at the near post, being policed by Kenny Jackett. Stephen playing it in, and it's Jackett who got the header. Barnes, who helped him on his way, but then lost out to Trevor Stephen. And Reilly back there. Those 6'4" came in very valuable. Now Heath. Stopped by Taylor. A couple of right little terriers there. Watford's throw. There's Taylor captaining the side with the absence of Will Frostron. It's only the third time he's been captain. On the two previous ones, they lost 6-1 at Norwich and 5-1 at Nottingham Forest. But undeterred, Graham Taylor said, you lead him out again.
He's a brave man making him captain again after those results, eh?
Johnston up well. Callaghan battling well, but in the end unfairly on Mountfield. Boy, they bought from Tranmere Rovers. Gary Stevens with the free kick. Sharp chesting it down, Taylor getting it away. Trevor Stephen. Now Callaghan. This could be a good break for Watford, but it's not because they're offside. Nice touch by Gray. Stephen again, seeing a lot of the ball, using it well here. But a little too high for Andy Gray, and Sinnott got it away. A good touch by Johnston. Now Reilly, and some nice skills by him, and they're onside. Johnston's on his way, and he might finish it off. In the end, Bailey just got back there in time, and in the end he was happy to put it away for the throw. Great break though by Watford. Maurice Johnston leading the way. Barnes now in possession. Crossed in, and they're having trouble getting this away.
Well, a real let-off for Everton there, and again they've got to thank the goalkeeper.
Sharp, Jackett, now Richardson, Heath playing it for Bailey. Really was in the right spot at the right time, John Bailey. Because after Southall had made his shot, he looked very much as though that ball might spin on again for Johnston. Reilly. Bailey, very neat. Accurate to Gray. Now Richardson. Sharp, just keeping it in. Bardsley there. Les Taylor. Oh, he might go all the way. Just wide. Identical position to that shot earlier in the game.
Well, again, we were talking about the middle of the defence. That was Ratcliffe making a feeble attempt at a tackle there. And Taylor right through. I mean, I've never seen this in the games at Everton since the turn of the year, because the two centre-backs have played ever so well together. But today, for some reason, you seem to be able to drive a bus through the middle, Brian.
Well, Taylor's only scored one goal this season. That was in the cup tie against Birmingham, but he might easily have had two here today. Callaghan stopped, and Reid getting on the move for Everton. 8 minutes of the first half left. Bailey to Richardson, and now Reid, and now Richardson. Whipping in a good cross, and Sharp, and a goal! His first cup tie goal of the season, and it comes at Wembley.
Well, terrific play down the left-hand side, and a good ball whipped in there by Richardson. And it was a challenge here to Stevens that the ball ran lovely for Sharpie and bang in off the post. So here's the ball again getting played in by Richardson, and as I say, it was a lovely ball, knocked it in with a bit of pace on it, just got scratched out by the centre-halves. And here's Everton full back up in support, and well, there you are, the ball runs lovely for you.
Reilly with a header. That's a great moment for Graham Sharp. And a great moment as the ball goes out of play, because he wasn't even sure of his place. In fact, he was only the sub against Southampton in the semi-final, came on in extra time and made all the difference. And as I say, he has not scored a cup tie goal this season until now. Barnes now on the far side, and a corner to Watford. Their first of the game with 39 minutes gone. So Sharp, having scored, is now back on his own goal line, doing a bit of defending as Callaghan plays it in. Barnes gets it back over. Reid gets it away, not very far. Bardsley finding Callaghan, a good ball, finding Callaghan in a bit of space. And another corner. 6 minutes of the first half left. Everton leading by a goal to nil. Graham Sharp the scorer. Gray getting it away. Goal kick.
Well, that's got the Everton fans singing now, Brian. Really, you know, puts the Watford team under a bit of pressure now. 2 goals at this stage to win it, if they're going to win it. And Everton, if they can hold out till half-time, great psychological boost to get the goal.
Bless my soul, if you were with us earlier in the programme, there was a clairvoyant called Jimmy Tarbuck in the Celebrity Bar who said the first goal in the cup final would come in the 37th minute. And do you know, it did. 37 minutes, 18 seconds.
He also said Watford would win the game, if I'm right.
I think you're right.
I think he said that, yeah.
Well, here we are now with Bailey. Andy Gray. Kenny Jackett. Oh, cut out by Heath before it could get to Price. Stephen. Cross coming in towards Andy Gray. Nodded back once more. Terry got a good header in. Richardson! Lusting it over the top. Very good header, in fact. I know it went to Richardson, but Terry got a very good header in when things began to look very difficult for Watford there with that header. Just held them up for a moment. And it's a goal kick to Watford. Ian, you wanted to say something?
Well, I'm just thinking that Everton, you know, doing ever so well up that right-hand side. As I say, you know, the Trevor Stephen is getting some very good balls, and that was a smashing ball right beyond the back post there to Andy Gray.
Now Reid. Sharp. Heath. And what an enjoyable cup final this is, with Stephen now taking it up for Everton. Jackett away. Mountfield trying to go in. Johnston had gone back with him. Well, there'll be a few watches being looked at on that Everton bench between now and 20 to 5. That can't come quickly enough for them at the moment. A long, long way to go yet. Jackett. Slicked that forward by Price, but Mountfield, Reid, almost nonchalantly, I thought for a moment the ball must be going out of play. He was so laid back. The time will fly for Watford. His Royal Highness, the Duke of Kent, on the right. Terry. It's a good ball for Callaghan. He's never been afraid to have a poke at goal as Nigel Callaghan. There really wasn't enough power, and it was a bit optimistic to try and beat Southall from that sort of range.
They'd swapped positions, Barnes and Callaghan there, but I just saw Barnes say to him, look, get back out there on the right-hand side, will you?
Header. Now here is Barnes away on that left-hand side, coming more central, and here's Callaghan on the right. Off Bailey, David Bardsley, and a foul there by John Barnes. No, it's an offside on the a little further into the penalty area. The hold-up is that Everton don't think Maurice Johnston is standing far enough off the ball. Last minute of the first half. I must say the time has flown in this first half. Everton leading by a goal to nil. Johnston. Rice with a throw for Watford. It's an Everton throw, the ball just coming off George Reilly, who looked to be prepared to debate the point with the linesman. Sharp is off in chase, Sinnott gets there first. Half-time whistle, and a good first half for Everton, and not a bad one for the fans really. It's been a good open game with a lot of good, exciting attacking football, and Graham Sharp's goal after 37 minutes is the one that gives Everton the lead. In a moment we should be getting the views of Jimmy Greaves along with Ian St John. That comes your way after the break. Here come the teams. Can you see any tactical changes, any differences being employed by either side in the second half here?
Well, I'm sure that Howard Kendall might have been saying something to his centre-backs to try and solve that little problem that seems to have crept into the game today. But other than that, I would think he's quite happy the way the game's going. Graham Sharp, the goal scorer there, I'm sure he's delighted, and he'll be all set to run around for the next 45 minutes. As far as Watford are concerned, I mean, they haven't done badly, Brian, because they've created chances, and after all, that's what the game is about. You've got to create chances. Now, the fact that they haven't taken them, you must give some credit, of course, to the Everton goalkeeper, Neville Southall, who's again having another remarkable game.
See Graham Taylor walking very purposefully along the track to get back to his position in the grey suit there, with Tom Wally on his right and Billy Hales, the physiotherapist, on his left. As Ian was probably saying, he's quite satisfied with the way they are making the chances and hope that they can continue to make them in the second half if they can. Who knows what Maurice Johnston and George Reilly might do. So it'll be Everton who start the second half. They've won the Cup 3 times. The last time was in 1966. Howard has a munch on a sandwich. His talking done. And we await the start of the second half. And it's Everton who kick off, attacking the goal to the right, leading 1-0. Richardson, Heath, Sharp, Callaghan just nicking it away. Reilly showed a little too much of that to Richardson, but Taylor still seeks to get Barnes away, but Gary Stevens is there for Everton. Richardson's header, Watford's throw. Callaghan. Ratcliffe. And Sharp just keeping it in play. Looked to get that through Sinnott's legs and then was obstructed by the young Watford defender. It gives Everton an indirect free kick, which will be taken by John Bailey. And maybe Adrian Heath. Mountfield into the penalty area again. It's Heath filling it in. Price with a header. Richardson. That's a very good ball, and Heath took it well, and was a little too dramatic maybe with his falling. There was no penalty in the referee's mind, but it suddenly came back Everton's way. Richardson. And Everton's throw. Or rather, it's Watford's throw. Possibly that didn't even get into play, so it's going to go back and it'll be another Watford throw. This time Sinnott gets the chance to make a bit of ground for the team that are trailing 1-0. Reilly. Ratcliffe. Mountfield backpedaling with Johnston after him, but the flag was up in any case for an offside just inside that Everton half. Shows how much their back four had pushed forward. I think Howard Kendall, he likes to do what he says, squeeze the opposition into as little space as possible and getting his back four forward. That's a goal kick.
Yes, he does. In fact, you know, he has pushed up. I thought, as I said at half-time there, that Ratcliffe has been pushing up just a little bit too much and getting out of line, as it were, and just getting ahead of the back four. And he's been causing a little problem or two. But they certainly are pushing up and leaving the space behind, but the space behind is a space that Watford like to play in, you know, like to play the ball into the space for the lads to run onto. So, I mean, it could have an adverse effect as well.
Callaghan, Reilly. Lost in towards Barnes. Might come for Kenny Jackett. Barnes is still waiting in there. Oh, and Southall performing wonders again. A lovely little dink in by Kenny Jackett. Look at the way he leaps, grabs and holds on.
Absolutely fantastic save from the goalkeeper.
Heath touching it on. Taylor getting it back. In goes Bailey, bundling Callaghan to the ground. Time it's an Everton throw. Again, Heath belies the fact that he's only 5'6". Wins an important little ball in the air to touch it on, and here's Trevor Stephen with Gary Stevens going on ahead. Amazing if he scored. Of course, Gary Stevens scored last year as well in this cup final for Brighton against Manchester United. Richardson shrugged off the challenge of Taylor very well. Offside. Interesting situation, Ian. I'd like to put you, if we come to penalties, as we've established from the Everton camp that Adrian Heath would take any Everton penalties. I asked Graham Taylor about it in the week. He said whoever's confident enough and wants to pick up the ball.
Well, if they're 1-0 down at the time, I don't think there'll be a lot of people racing to take the kick.
That's just what I was thinking. But here's Reid for Everton. Trevor Stephen just kept it in play. No, he didn't.
Funny thing today, the way the game's gone. Everton haven't really had the little breaks, Ryan. You know, the ball, was it in, was it out, was it a corner, was it not, and the free kicks. Most of them have gone sort of against Everton, and yet here they are still 1-0 up.
Stephen. Whipping in quite a good cross there. Oh, Andy Gray! And it's given! It came out of Sherwood's hands, and Andy Gray has forced it home to put Everton 2 into the lead. Trevor Stephen whipping in the cross. The keeper had it, and Gray made sure he didn't keep it for long. What about those, Ian?
Well, another smashing ball in from young Stevens. I don't think it was a foul at all. There's Andy jumping up. And I think it was a case of the ball coming down and hitting him on the head and going in the net.
looked like a very good refereeing decision. Now there's a big job for Watford to do. Stephen gets it away again. Callaghan. Sharp is after this one. Now Stephen. Oh, he's turning the fullback. Price one way, then the other, and wins the corner. Oh, some moment for Andy Gray. Twice he's been here in the League Cup, in 77 for Aston Villa against Everton, and in 1981, of course, he scored the winner here for Wolves against Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest. Well, he's given Everton a very pleasant cushion now of a 2-goal lead. Jackett. It's a long ball which Reilly will chase, but he'll chase it in vain. Well, what a good sight. Funneled each other over. There was a free kick Everton's way, and the two fellas were shaking hands before anything else could happen.
I think young John Bella had a look at who it was that fouled him. He looked up and saw Big George and shook hands with him.
Mind you, he was a schoolboy boxer, John Bailey. Probably knows how to look after himself.
Oh, he can. He's a tough boy.
Here's Stephen. Price struggling to keep with him, and does so. On loan to Plymouth a couple of months ago was young Neil Price, and playing in the Great Mills Western League in front of just a handful of spectators. And here he is at Wembley, now facing this long throw from Gary Stevens. Trevor Stephen. Oh, and that nearly came through to Heath. Bardsley away. Callaghan. Taylor. Reilly is onside now. He's got Maurice Johnston waiting in the middle. That's the sort of cross, but this time Southall was expecting it. Please don't write off Watford. As I was saying earlier in the day, I remember seeing them in the third round, and they went 2 down to their neighbours Luton, and looked for a little while to be out of it then. Came back to 2-2 and won the replay. So there's a bit of fight and a bit of character in them. Free kick to Everton. Reid, Sharp, for Gray, deflected off Terry, another corner. Reilly watching Mountfield. Stephen with the corner. Peter Reid, but it bounces for Callaghan. And now for Barnes. Johnston in a lot of space away on the right, but there are a few blue shirts between him and the ball. But now there aren't, but the flag is up.
But you can see how quickly that Watford get players up into the attack there, Brian. You know, while Barnes had the ball, all the yellow jerseys are streaming forward there. As you were saying, for them to be 2 goals down, normally you would say, well, that's it all over, lads, let's go home. But Watford are, you know, such a tenacious team that they'll keep battling away. Mind you, if they go over this hurdle, I mean, it would just be unbelievable, wouldn't it?
And yet the record says that the last 3 finals have all needed replays. Andy Gray playing it in. Price getting it away. Last match that was decided here in 90 minutes of final was way back in 1980 when West Ham beat Arsenal with Trevor Brooking's goal 1-0. Terry's header. Bardsley. The Everton fans fans enjoying a little bit of that. Are you watching Liverpool?
Well, I mean, they've had to suffer it for so many years, Brian, and they're entitled to get their own back this afternoon. But I'm sure that everybody on Merseyside wants Everton to win it, except maybe the most biased Reds fans. But we all want it, you know, to have a clean sweep, as I said, and bring the trophy back.
And also make it a Liverpool-Everton Charity Shield next August.
That's correct.
Still in play, is it? No, it's out now. Well, I have to say, as a Liverpool fan yourself, you've been doing a bit of jumping up and down, Ian.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have wanted Everton to win it because I have friends back home who are Everton fans, and I know the players here, all the players that are playing for Everton, and a smashing crowd of lads. And I would just love them, you know, to get a little bit of joy out of the game, where they've had so much over the years when they've had to take it from the Liverpool fans.
I've noticed a moment ago that Paul Atkinson has got himself stripped. He'll be on, the substitute for Watford. Steve Sims alongside him in the moustache, the big centre-half, who's kept out through an ankle injury. Coming up to a quarter of an hour of the second half gone. And it's going to be young Neil Price, I think, who's coming off. The young fullback.
I think that was inevitable, Brian. The youngster really, you know, has been finding it very, very hard. And Everton have been attacking down the right-hand side of the field and causing a lot of problems for the Watford defenders. So I think that was a wise move.
Well, he's a natural left-sided player, Atkinson. But he normally plays, well, indeed, he's gone into the midfield and Kenny Jackett's gone to left-back. Kenny has played at left-back before this season, of course. Particularly when Will Frostrom was out, as he is today. Barnes, Mountfield. Taylor's there. Taylor. That's the turn of the Everton chairman in the centre with the spectacles. Phil Carter to sit next to His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent. Elton John moves to the other side. Slightly distraught with his side two down. Steve Terry. Oh, it was a strange free kick. Fortunately for Watford, it bounced on to Les Taylor. He's battling through. A couple of real battlers there because it was Peter Reid who finally won it. It's been difficult for the uncommitted to know exactly where to pitch their favours today. I think there's a lot of sympathy, offside against Sharp there, a lot of sympathy for Everton, who battled so well in those two Milk Cup games against Liverpool, but also for people who love a storybook ending to a real storybook tale, with Watford coming out of the 4th division a matter of 7 years ago and suddenly finding themselves amongst the elite. Watford aren't, at the moment, making the chances they made in the first half, are they?
Well, Everton are looking more solid, I would think, at the back. And also, again, you know, the advantage of having the 2 goals.
So there isn't an awful lot left, I suppose, that Watford can do. They've made their substitution. They've put Atkinson into the midfield and withdrawn Kenny Jackett. And they've got to hope that Barnes, Reilly and Johnston find a little bit of magic somewhere along the way.
If they get the one, Brian, then the game opens up again, doesn't it?
Reilly for Everton.
we're getting more and more goalkeepers who are controlling the ball as it comes back to them, you know, rather than handle it, because they've got to kick it from where they handle it, and they're getting very good, some of them.
Taylor. Bailey. Just gone off the boil for a little bit. Everton seeking to consolidate the lead they've got, and Watford just wondering how they can make inroads into it. Reilly. Offside against Andy Gray.
Andy having a go at the linesman. Now, he's one of the great mourners of the game, and Howard Kendall said when he came to Everton, he tried to get him to stop it, but he said, you may as well talk to the wall. He's just naturally a mourning type of guy, you know.
And he was about 5 yards offside.
Yes, I know, but he'll still mourn.
Reilly, Mountfield. There's Jackett. Taylor trying to get in there and quicken things up a little bit, and might succeed. It's a goal kick. Southall then with the goal kick.
He's in no great hurry to take the kick either, is he, Brown?
Stephen. Gray. Touch for Stephen. Gary Stevens. Saying it's a measure of the task nonetheless that's facing Watford, that Everton have conceded only one goal in 7 cup ties this season. That was the one against Notts County. Andy Gray showing off Les Taylor, and as he fell he finds Heath. Bailey. Another Everton throw. Gray leaving it for Reid, and now Richardson. Bailey. Heath. Bailey playing a high one in towards Andy Gray. Might come for Stephen. In the end, it's a corner.
He's had a good game, Trevor Stephen. I'm delighted for the lad, because, you know, he wasn't getting a regular game, and really got in because Sheedy was injured, but he's having a smashing game this afternoon.
And here he is with the corner. And a safe gather that time from Steve Sherwood. Callaghan. Stevens. Watford's throw. Barnes, all the tricks. And a little touch to an offside Maurice Johnston. Or rather Paul Atkinson.
Barnes and Callaghan, who we thought might be the danger man, the men who are going to supply the ball for the two strikers, haven't really today got into the game. You know, there's that little bit of inconsistency about both of them that, I mean, Graham Taylor had talked about it, and I think it's showing today.
Sharp. Stephen, who is doing some good work down the flanks for Everton. Reid. halfway through the second half now. It's the time for a really big and effective push from Watford. Ball's out of play. It's Everton's throw. Stephen. Running Jackett, but Jackett knew what to do, even at the expense of a corner. I think it was always Howard Kendall's intention to keep a close watch on Callaghan and Barnes, to stifle the surface to Reilly and to Johnston.
That's right. I mean, if you can do that, then obviously you cut off the supply to the danger men. But as I say, both of them today have been on the side of verging on inconsistent.
Stephen with the corner for Everton. And Terry getting in an important header as Andy Gray launched himself at that ball. Another corner. So Jackett keeping an eye on Sharp. Played in short this time by Stephen for Sharp. Trevor Stephen again. Bardsley just put it away to Barnes. Now, after that, Maurice Johnston, he's saying, but the speedy Ratcliffe is there first. When Everton were looking for omens and Kevin Ratcliffe, they call him Ratty up at Goodison, and they say it's the Chinese year of the rat. They thought that might help him. It's Sharp, though, at the moment. Reid. Stevens. Sinnott's header for Watford. In goes Peter Reid again. The feet were high on Reid. He got a boot in the face there. And Everton get a free kick. Heath behind it. Sharp, Gray and Mountfield poised to make the attack on the far side. It's Peter Reid, but it was read by Bardsley very well for Watford. Rather stumbling bit of clearance play there, but they get it away for Atkinson and then for Johnston, and now for Callaghan. Played in again towards Johnston, and there's Gary Stevens. Atkinson. So with 20 minutes left, Everton leading 2-0. Graham Sharp and Andy Gray the scorers. Gray, Sharp, Heath. A handball there. And it's a Watford free kick. Adrian Heath playing a little bit more wide on the left, it seems to be, in the second half here.
I noticed that, Brian. Yeah, I don't know why, because I think in the first half he was doing some great work through the middle, wasn't he? Maybe they were frightened of letting the ball come up the right-hand side there.
Barnes, but Ratcliffe is again there, and the referee right on hand to say goal kick. Reilly. Callaghan couldn't control it. It's been that sort of day for him. Reilly to Reid. He couldn't either, but fortunately for Everton it falls straight to Gary Stevens. Stopped by Steve Terry. And Barnes didn't get back quickly enough and is caught offside. To the utter frustration on this side of the field to Maurice Johnston, who'd taken up a good position, and with Gary Stevens having made his break, there was a lot of space for him.
It's really annoying, for members of the team when there's one fella who, instead of just running the 10 yards and getting onside nice and quickly, has a little dally and gets caught offside, Brian. It really gets to them. And but again, I think it's part of the way that Barnes is playing today, along with Callaghan. Not really as sharp as I've seen them.
Heath finding Sharp. That goes for Les Taylor. Here's Barnes again. And here's Heath again. But this time there's a foul by Kevin Richardson, and Watford get a free kick. Just needs a little something now to pep it up. Bardsley stopped by Richardson. Bardsley. Watford's throw. Sinnott's there. It'll be another long one. And with the way he throws them, that means a certain amount of danger for Everton in their own penalty area. Finding Reilly. No foul. And Bailey threads it away for Everton to Graham Sharp. A nice little touch by him, and the break is on for Peter Reid, being pursued by 4 Hornets, and in the end they get the better of him, and Terry gets it away to Maurice Johnston. Stevens, and now Jackett.
Well, that must be the furthest Peter's run in a couple of seasons. Just a pity he never had another yard there, because he'd have got a shot in.
Johnston battling, but the little fight there is won by Stevens. Finds Gray, back for Stevens again, and another throw for Everton. Coming towards the last quarter of an hour of the game, and Everton leading by 2-0. That time by Mountfield. Oh. Linesman backpedaling quickly. Gets one of the biggest cheers of the afternoon outside the goals when he falls flat on his back.
A little bit put off maybe by Derek Mountfield, who was giving him quite a seeing to verbally.
Now it's Reid. Must be the point in the game, Ian. I should think that Everton are beginning to enjoy it now, because they must know that short of doing something absolutely disastrous, just keep playing to this sort of form, it's in the bag.
Well, that's right. Minutes ticking away now for Watford, and if Everton get hold of the ball, should try and keep it, Brian, you know, rather than just kick it away, because there's nothing so frustrating for the losing team, you know, to have the opposition get a hold of the ball and they can't get at it.
But as you say, if Watford can just pierce them once, who knows what might happen. Atkinson playing it in towards Callaghan. Comes back to Les Taylor. He was so close with those 2 efforts in the first half, and it was still 0-0. Atkinson for Barnes. No, Mountfield read that well. And Reid and Barnes. As Watford come again. Taylor. On the far side, support behind him from Bardsley, but he has Bailey to deal with. Watford get the throw. Bardsley with a chance to cross one in. Atkinson was there. Johnston chasing back. Here's Jackett. Towards Barnes. Some good skills there, but the final product really wasn't what Watford wanted. Beaten by Terry in the air. Reid getting it forward, but there was a foul on Reid. There'll be a free kick to Everton. It'll be Ratcliffe who's going to take it. towards Andy Gray, but George Reilly back there doing a good defender's job once more. David Bardsley getting it forward to Nigel Callaghan. Watford's throw. Reilly off Barnes. Well, it really is that sort of afternoon. Even the throw didn't go their way. Richardson. And Sinnott sticking well to Sharp, but having done the most difficult part of the job, then needlessly gives away the corner. Stephen with Everton's corner, and no trouble there for Sherwood. Johnston and Barnes alone are up, only 3 Everton defenders were back. One of them though was Ratcliffe. That was a handball by Sinnott, I fancy. No, the flag was up for an offside before that. Second half competition winner, let me tell you, is Mr. N. Hardy from County Antrim in Northern Ireland. Congratulations to him. 6 minutes 19 seconds. Callaghan floated towards Johnston. The offside flag is up. It won't count. Watford, just for that one moment, thought something was on for them, but the perfect view that tells you that Maurice Johnston was offside.
Just straight off there as the ball was played, Brian, but it just shows you if this little fella gets a supply of ball in the box, how dangerous it can be. And I must say today that really hasn't had the chance to set up for him.
Andy Gray, Graham Sharp. Trevor Stephen with Gary Stevens outside him, played in for Peter Reid, and an Everton corner. 10 minutes left. Sharp watched by a worried-looking Lee Sinnott. Stephen, and another throw to Everton. Stephen getting at a good cross there towards Andy Gray. Steve Terry, it came off him for another Everton corner.
They are good balls, you know, that Trevor Stephen is bending in there, Brian. Lovely balls beyond the goalkeeper, beyond the far post.
Well, here come Everton again, floated in that time by Heath. Bardsley got it away to Reid. Cut out well by Paul Atkinson. Stephen, and Bardsley back to Sherwood. Reilly, Jackett, Stevens, Gray, little touch that goes for Watford's throw. Jackett with it. Sharp. Trying to force his way through, the ball in the end coming Everton's way.
Had a fine game this afternoon, Gary Stevens. Very good game. In fact, all the youngsters for Everton have played well.
Another Everton free kick. Well, I don't know how they got up there, but probably the best view in the ground. Sharp. Now Taylor. There's Taylor. And now Andy Gray. Mountfield, away by Richardson, and David Bardsley in possession now. Only pass fit this week after a knee injury. Barnes trying to persuade him to get down that touchline. It wasn't a very good ball. It gave Bardsley no chance at all. Still 1-0 to Aberdeen up in Scotland, but Roy Aitken, the Celtic captain, has been sent off. Here it's 2-0 to Everton, but Reilly wins that one in the air. This kick by Bardsley. Sharp seeking to take full advantage of it. In the end, he's forced away by Sinnott. Here's Trevor Stephen. Bailey gave him very little chance. And in the end, Watford get possession again with Maurice Johnston. Now, after that, maybe for Callaghan, no. Ratcliffe's there for Everton. Bardsley. It's a bit muddled at the moment. Gray finding Stephen. Finding Heath. And this is better by Stephen. Now Bailey. Oh, and a good ball by Bailey for Richardson onside. And coming off Bardsley for yet another Everton corner.
Well, that was the first bit of controlled football we've seen for about 10 minutes, Brian, and Everton knocked half a dozen passes and then Richardson wide down the left. It's been a bit scrappy, but as I say, that's the way the game has just gone in the second half. There's not been many chances for either team.
Jackett's header. Richardson's cross again towards Mountfield, but managed to get that one away thanks to George Reilly. Heath with the shot. Watford's goal kick.
Certainly worth a try for them there, although Andy Gray was telling him that he could have slipped him a pass just in the inside right position, but for little Heathy, he's got to try and have a shot from there. Then he's gone back to that outside left position again, Brian, picking up this goal kick.
Bardsley for Watford, who have about 5 minutes left now to restore this fairly gloomy situation for them, 2 down. And not helped there by an offside decision against Maurice Johnston. What do you feel about his performance today?
Well, as I was saying, the lad hasn't really had any type of service, you know, the ball that he likes to get in the end of and score his goals. I mean, he's worked very hard, but again, really without the support today, Brian. I don't feel that Watford have played anything like they can do. I think it's been a disappointing team performance from them.
Jackett. Atkinson. Mountfield away. Jump by Reilly. Reilly very controlled at left back this afternoon, but that gives Watford another throw, but only 3 minutes are left now. Taylor, Callaghan. Everton throw. And already the Everton fans on that far side have got the banners going and the voices raised in celebration as the ball comes to Reid. And now to Gary Stevens. And an offside surely against Richardson.
The young fella showing his inexperience here, Brian. Andy Gray was outside him, and all I have to do now for the last couple of minutes is keep a hold of the ball, but they get a little bit impatient and want to score another one.
It's noticeable they've got about 10 back at the moment, though. They obviously mean to stifle the life out of Watford in the couple of minutes that are left. To chance nothing and lose nothing has been fought for so hard here this afternoon. Those goals by Graham Sharp and Andy Gray. Stephen getting it away towards Gray. There's Steve Terry again above him. See the Watford flags in the background as well. Watford fans have certainly played their part in the day. It's Everton's who are going to be the jubilant winners, I fancy. He's still biting his nails with a hand on his shoulder from his coach, Colin Harvey. Alan Harper, the substitute, smiling, and look, he knows the cup is almost won. And that's the other side of the story. But what a story, though, for Watford. Sadly for them, without the happy ending, unless they can do something quite sensational in the minute or so that's left. Well, here's Callaghan. Played in towards Reilly, but the flag again was up for offside. And the voices you can hear are mainly Merseyside voices now. Referee's looking at the watch. Do you know, a trainer who's not been on the field in all the 90 minutes. The end of a career for John Hunting, and a victory for Everton in the FA Cup. There are the two goal scorers, Andy Gray and Graham Sharp. And Everton, who last won the cup, Elton John, in defeat. But he knows that it's been really a victory over the years for Watford for what they've achieved. But the smiles on the day will come from Everton. They last won the cup in 1966. At last, they have started to get from out of the shadow of Liverpool. They've got themselves into Europe, that's important. They've got themselves a date back here in August for the Charity Shield against Liverpool. And Howard Kendall, the manager, is on the red carpet now, waiting to greet each player as they come in. There was a hug for Andy Gray, a hug for Peter Reid. They waited so long for this. As somebody was saying earlier, he'd queued for 14 years for this ticket for Wembley today. The chairman pretty distraught. And the Everton players are delighted. Neville Southall and Andy Gray. And a nice smile there from Graham Taylor coming out, the Watford manager, with a handshake from Andy Gray. Gesture from John Bailey, and look at that, that's a good bit of leadership there from Graham Taylor. His team are dejected and beaten, and what does he do? He comes and he greets them with the broadest smile of the day. Come on, you've done us proud. So it's Everton then who mount the steps that have been mounted so often in the past by Liverpool, and now it's the other side from Merseyside, led by their skipper Kevin Ratcliffe. What a moment for them. All the years of waiting and the years of disappointment, the jibes they've had to receive on Merseyside from all the Liverpool fans. There's their chairman, Phil Carter. That's all over now. Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Kent, says the cup is Everton's. Who scored that first important goal, Graham Sharp, and there's the fellow who got the second one, Andy Gray. Derek Mountfield, some good work by Neville Southall, not least in the very first minute of the game. Kevin Richardson with that still injured right wrist, the joker John Bailey, a kiss for the medal, and then loses it. He's waited so long for it and then drops it. Trevor Stephen, the substitute Alan Harper, the batter in the midfield, Peter Reid. As they go past their chairman, they each get a pat on the back. And why not? There's one or two there that aren't far from tears. Nigel Callaghan's one of them. Champagne for Everton, commiserations for Watford. In a long, oh, Steve Sherwood looks in a bit of trouble. Oldest man in the side at 30. And the nice thing about it is, Ian, that they're all, so many of them are so young, they could all do it all over again.
Well, you feel sorry for the youngsters coming down there. You really feel for them. Right, but they've got their whole football life ahead of them, and let's hope that they get a chance to go up the steps again and maybe come down with a winner's medal.
Well, Les Taylor, I don't know whether he was trying to do a swap with John Bailey or just to see what a winner's medal looked like as opposed to the losers. And Everton are starting their lap of honour. But before that can happen, the photographers presumably want a team photograph. And I must say, 50 or 60 of them are lined up by the corner flag. And what happens before they can go on the lap of honour? They're waiting for the lap of honour.
They're waiting for them to go up and pose for the picture, you know, that's usually the organisation, but I think they're letting Watford lads go first.
So Watford go first on the lap of honour. As you say on the day, they probably, after quite a bright opening, didn't really do themselves justice.
Had they scored then, Brian, in the early part of the game, the first few minutes of the game, they had a couple of chances. Had they knocked one in, then who knows what would have happened. But they didn't, and I think as the game wore on, the more experienced players on the side, Everton side, took over.
You should look at the Everton fans. They are giving them a real royal welcome at that end of the field. Arms aloft as one. They're applauding Watford for their parts in this cup final today. But of course what they're really waiting for are the team in blue. Won a major trophy after such a disappointment in the Milk Cup final. Back in Europe, in the Cup Winners' Cup, that's a money spinner. Back here for the Charity Shield. And last October or November, you just wouldn't have given them a price.
There's John Bailey, can't stop joking, can he? Look at the hat he's got on.
The biggest hat in Wembley. On the head of John Bailey.
They'll be singing their new record.
go to a party tonight with their chairman Elton John in Hertfordshire, and you can be sure that there will be plenty of celebrations in the West End of London tonight with the Everton fans, the Everton players as well. And of course the Everton fans who were howling for Howard Kendall's job, some of them earlier this season, are now shouting for the manager. And what's he doing? Well, he's somewhere there in the centre of that picture. There he is, letting the players take the glory. This is their victory, he'd be saying. And there's no doubt about it that good management has also set them on the way. Neville Southall. Oh, sorry, officer. It's about the only thing Neville Southall's dropped, I think, all season.
But I told you, he's very friendly with the policeman who coaches the team up there.
That's right. When you remember those saves he made here in the Milk Cup final against Liverpool, and then they lost it on the replay, you wondered whether he'd ever get another chance again. Well, he did, and he made some important saves here.
When you remember the Milk Cup replay when the Everton boys were in tears, and then you see it today when it's their day in the sun, it's lovely, isn't it? The game's not too cruel after all.
There'll be quite a while getting around because there are Everton fans who've got onto the track somehow or other, and it's very, very slow progress. And you get the feeling that with this behind them, they're a club that will only get better. I mean, I must say, from the start of this season, I've seen them maybe a dozen or more times, so they've got better every time. The potential within the club is enormous.
And as you were saying, they're down here at Wembley again in the Charity Shield against Liverpool, so that's a lovely start to this season as well. There's something to look forward to. And I'm delighted for the lads there, you know, little Colin Harvey, who, as I say, is a real Everton man through and through. Great for them.
Well, that's the backroom team there. United in victory. And also onto the pitch, away from the Royal Box, Elton John. He wants to say well done to his team, the players and the backroom staff as well. But they look, sadly, a beaten side. Still the celebrations go on with the boys in blue. Applause from the manager to the Watford fans, and in his heart he's probably saying, don't worry, we'll be back. What a job he's done, and what a job they've done. Wondering, the cup has gone on way ahead of Howard Kendall. I don't think he'll get a touch of it until they get to the dressing room. It's great for him. 3 times he's been to Wembley, twice as a player, once as a manager, before today, and all 3 times he lost. Today has certainly made up for that. Well, we should be wanting to talk to 1 or 2 of the Everton players, and hopefully 1 or 2 of the Watford players as well. And so that we're in time to receive them in our interview room, we better leave the scene just for a moment and take a short break.